Hello everybody, this is Keyox for another build in PvZ. This build is going to be broken up into two parts, the opening and the mid-game portions. So we're going to get right into it. This build starts out with the Forge Fast expand into a very fancy kind of 1-1-1-esque style. So, the first question we have to ask is, how can we get one Stargate, a Robo, a ton of gates, with a strong early economy that's safe against all Zerg openings? That's the first question we have to ask in order to get this build to work. If we can get that done, we've survived early game and we're ready to win the game. So we're thinking about how we can get into the early game. One of the best ways to do this, to get a strong early economy, is to do a Forge Fast expand, which involves putting your pylon down at your natural. You're going to scout with this early probe. It's very important because seeing what he's doing allows you to react accordingly. Because if he goes pool first and you go nexus first, it's almost an auto lose. So you're going to want to scout with the probe that makes the pylon. Very, very important. If you don't do this, you won't see what he's doing and can sometimes end up in a loss. So my probe finds his base, and I start scouting around. I see he's doing a gas first opening, and so I'm thinking, well, actually, if we look very precisely at it, it's basically gas and pool at the exact same time. Let's just speed up a little bit. Yeah, so it's basically a gas and a pool. In this case, I feel a little unsafe, and so I put down my forge, just because I'm a little scared of a early speed lane push. So there are many different options, though. There can be a lot that happens in the short amount of time. So with this scouting probe, it depends on what you see. If you see a hatch first, you do a nexus first. If you see a late pool, which is the gas, and then the pool, you do a nexus first. If you see the pool first, or a pool then gas, then you're going to want to get your forge, get your nexus, and then throw up your cannon when you can. Going right along, we just keep making probes. Very, very, very important. The probes should never stop. Never ever stop, unless you are trying to get up a key building. There's a little bit of miss macro here, and I try and get up my cannon before I get probes. Now this actually is okay. I saw a pool first, and his pool is already up, so technically if he makes a ton of lanes right now and I didn't make this cannon, he could just go kill me. Because of this very fast pool, I was a little scared and wanted to cut probes to get up my cannon nice and fast. So in that case, it was okay to cut probes, but in any other case, try and keep your probe production up all the time. So I'm just kind of waiting, just trying to get my economy nice and solid. I keep making probes, If you look here, the probes should almost never stop. And then when I have the money, I throw down 2 gates. Meanwhile, my probes continue. I do not stop. So we're going to finish our wall in with 2 gates. We're not going to wall in completely. We're going to have enough so our army can get out there. Moving right along, we're going to throw up our 2 gases right after that and transfer back down. And that is our early game. Our nexus is just finishing, and if there has been no attempts on our base, we should be perfectly fine. So congrats, you just survived the early game. Just some important notes. You're going to want to use a lot of chrono on your probes. Only in the early game, though. When you get to more mid-game, you're going to want to use chrono on units and upgrades. Also, you want to never, ever cut probes unless you feel safe. Oh, unless you don't feel safe. If you don't feel safe, feel free to cut probes and get out some units or some cannons. Other than that, you should always have probes making. Other than that, you should be perfectly safe, and you should be very happy with how your economy is looking and how the game is looking for you right now. Because if you got to this point, you're set. You almost have this game won. In part 2, we'll look at more of the mid-game, the transition, and the push. Thank you for watching.